Hello guys, hope you're doing well. This is TJ and you're listening to Beyond the Ring podcast. This is my review of New Japan Strong 21st May 2021. This was a pretty okay show in my opinion. From last 2 to 3 weeks that we had seen, this was kind of an underwhelming show, but nonetheless, the show actually opened with the hype video of the Chris Dickinson versus Team Filthy. That's gonna happen next week. Actually, they had announced for the Strong Openweight Championship, the first Openweight Championship, the first defense for Tom Lawler. And last week, actually, Filthy Tom Lawler, the Team Filthy actually turned heel. Danny Lambright actually hit a low blow to Chris Dickinson, and that made this match pretty interesting. And I'm actually very excited to see how this match is gonna be, and hopefully it's gonna be a very good main event. So without any further ado, let's get into the show then. Danny Lambright actually hit a low blow last week to Chris Dickinson, and Team Filthy actually turning heel on Chris Dickinson then. So this match actually have gotten interesting now, because prior to this they were in their own team and they were like friends, and now it is not like that. So it has become more interesting, and I'm very pretty hyped to see how this match is gonna be. I hope so it would be good. So this was a small video package that they had, and the first match we got was Alex Coughlin versus Bateman. So Bateman actually is a new guy for me. I haven't seen his matches, but Alex Coughlin we have seen many matches, tag matches and all. He's a young lion. He has actually graduated from young lion, as I think so. And Bateman is a kind of a big guy, where Alex Coughlin has also that power and intensity and that strength advantage as well. But he also possesses Alex Coughlin also possesses technical wrestling. So we got to see this match, some technical wizard. So this was a match of technical mastery of two of them. I'm very pretty surprised to see Bateman, even though he's such a power guy, but the way he was kind of maneuvering with Alex Coughlin was very very nice to see, and it was very good to watch. And if you know me, you would know that I love technical wrestling. I love watching technical wrestling. It's a greatest piece of tale of storytelling that we get. So the initial moment of the match, we saw some slow great wrestling and all, pure wrestling and some arm control, exchanging chops and all. That competitive thing was coming, and then some fighting spirit from Alex Coughlin. And the match actually was won by Bateman actually. But the whole match, Alex Coughlin was kind of controlling Bateman, but of his power moves and all, he actually surpassed this guy Alex Coughlin, and it's a kind of a great achievement for Bateman. And Bateman's music is very hooking type of music. His music. I liked his music, and the finish of the match, actually we saw. Uh, Alex Coughlin trying to pick up Bateman, but Bateman slaps out and hit a uppercut to the back of the surgical neck that Alex Coughlin had, and surgical repaired neck that Alex Coughlin has, and he has some history of injury to his neck that commentators were telling, and that was kind of a good storytelling that they played out. And then a tombstone pile driver that seals a victory for Bateman. So I thought for my thoughts about this match, it was a good match. I like a technical wrestling, so it was a very good opening match. Some fighting spirit as well, some competition and all that stuff was there. So second match we got was Carl Fredericks. And Brody King versus J Kratos and Danny Lambert. So Kratos is the superstar, is a wrestler who is in the NWA, who is the NWA, one half of the NWA Tag Team Championship, with Aaron Stevens. So I pretty like this guy. This guy's power moves, his wrestling, his movement, and all is very great. So I was hoping to be this very great tag team match. So it was a very great tag team match, as I say this, as I hoped. A great tag team match. Actually, the chemistry between Kratos and Danny Lambert was so good, as they were like experienced tag team. They were being doing this for so many years. Such was the cohesion between them. But the I like that major sequences of Kratos and Brody King that was going on. They were beating hell out of each other, and that was very great to see that. same to same matching stuff, matching elements that these wrestlers have. So then we got limelight strikes as well, and that was also very good too. So these are the major points I actually got my attention to this match. I like this match actually, and the cohesion between, as I said, JR Kratos and Danny Limelight was very good, and I was hoping that they would be securing the victory, but they didn't, because after the match I actually known the reason, because Carl Fredericks is actually the number one contender after he eliminated uh, Filthy Tom Lawler at that battle royal that took place previous week. So he is getting the shot at the strong openweight championship after whoever wins is Chris Dickinson or Filthy Tom Lawler. And Brody King commentators were also telling about Brody King as well. So I think Brody King would be also getting that shot as well in the in the weeks to come, or in the near future, I would say. So, but Brody King and Carl Fredericks pick up the victory. The finish of the match we saw actually strikes laid out by Danny, and a kick tried by Danny, but Carl actually slaps him and put him into a strong sleeper hold, and then a jumping impaler DDT. That was brutal, and that just hit the neck very nasty into the mat. And this was a very good tag team match. I would say great tag team match. I like this match very much. And then we got the main event, which I had expectation as well, because this was a no DQ match between Fred Rosser and Hikuleo. So the story of this match actually is, last week actually they had some pretty rough moments and all in the match, and they were after the match actually they were throwing out of chair, they were hitting out of each other. And then this match actually was confirmed by the New Japan management committee that this would be a no DQ match this week, Fred Rosser versus Hikuleo. So as we are going to this match, Kevin Kelly said that this is the first no DQ match that's happening in New Japan Strong. So that was a pretty history for them. But the match itself, I would say, was not kind of a that kind of excitement filled, I would say. The production level that they had doesn't looked apt for the that false count anywhere, or the DQ no DQ match situation, because they actually gone to the back and gone to the outside as well. And the using of the environment that they did, I didn't like. I like the truck moments and all, how they did, but after that, they were pretty very um, uh, very violently attacking each other. And I was sincerely hoping that they would be safe, because they were actually hitting each other like real. That's what happening. Fred Rosser especially, he was hitting out like anything, and he was like real. But the match itself doesn't have that life going on, so I was not into this match that much. Nonetheless, I would say a good try by New Japan, but New Japan doesn't have that. I don't think so. This is the first try. This is the first time, but the first time didn't do that charm. But going forward, maybe if they had good storyline or something, if that warrants something, it would be a good thing. So the story and all, actually they actually. There didn't have to be a no DQ match, I think so, because just a brawl that was going on, and they just made that situation into a no DQ match. And the no DQ match situation is not recommended at this fast pace, because you don't didn't have match that much, two or three match, one or two matches at least, I would say. So if would have been an in-ring match, it would have been good. And in the last moment, actually we saw that Fred Rosser pick up the victory by a running knee. And when they were both in the ring, I was more interested to see both in the ring, and the ring side stuff they were doing. The backstage stuff they did, I didn't like that. So that actually not didn't like that I didn't like it. So this was the that I didn't like it. So this was the show, New Japan Strong. Pretty okay show, I would say. The main event didn't deliver it. It was a kind of 20 minutes or something, and it dragged upon. I didn't enjoy it that much, like we are seeing previous weeks, or 2 to 3 weeks before. They were putting some of the great tag team main events prior to Moxley and Nagata, and after that as well. We last week we saw that 8 man. battle royal and all. So not a packed show, not a very good show, I would say, like they were doing, but a pretty okay show, I would say. So if you want to watch a match from this, I would say Alex Coughlin match, and the second match. There's only three matches, but I would say go it for the if you like technical wrestling so much, go watch the match first. If you don't like that much, because first match was kind of more than 90%, it was a kind of technical mastery of both of them. So if you are not into that, check out the second match, tag team match. That was also very good. So that main event actually didn't hold up with my expectation. Hopefully we would be having next week. There's a good main event, great main event that's gonna happen. Chris Dickinson versus filthy Tom Lawler for the strong openweight champion. Tom Lawler actually defending his championship first time after the victory he got after defeating Brody King. So so that's gonna be a good main event, I expect. So this was a show. So tell me in the comment section below which matches do you like, and tell me your thoughts about New Japan Strong. And that's it. Be safe, stay energetic, and I'll see you guys in the next one. And before that, I would like to say that be sure to kindly like, because it helps into my searching and YouTube algorithms. So like, share, subscribe, do all that good stuff, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.